And Hardy, well, he doesn't need to step up. He does that every week. Barrett buries that large frame inside Harbour's territory. Impetuous. Give it to me is his motto. An offside play and the first penalty for Southland.
And probably maybe have a wee look at the kick here. We know James Wilson can definitely hit him that far, but look, I think Southland here, they're 10 points down. They're a team we know that don't panic. They hang on to the ball for long phases. That's something obviously they would have talked about before the game. Try and wear this Harbour pack down, and here's another opportunity for Southland to do exactly that.
We'll also know that Harbour have struggled to put a full game together. They've had good phases. And how long can they keep up this majestic form? We'll have to wait and see. The game needs to be taken away from them, but not with elementary errors.
Well, it looks, Mel, that unfortunately the rain might have really kicked in here.
Just then, yep, it's been holding off and now it's just started to pour from the heavens. So I'd say in the second half, with the wind behind them, Southland will change their tactics quite dramatically.
Good patience last scrum.
No point in me rolling out my passing shower routine, is there, Mel?
No.
Crouch.
I don't think Southland will be too disappointed about this time, will they?
No, they can adapt, and that's what they've done particularly well this season, is change tactics mid-game when things haven't worked. The Shield game when they took it was a case in point.
Exactly right. I've played in these conditions before. Hey, but the other side to it is they are 10 points down. They're the guys that have got to hang on to the Shield. This North Harbour side's come here and they've come out to attack and they're doing it so well.
It's really clear. Just call it out from your side.
Yes, in the best of conditions, they played the best of rugby, so deserving of that 10-point buffer.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
A lot of frustration
Guys,
there.
I can't be on both sides of the scrum, so let's get it right, eh? Yeah, well. Come to the middle and look after 3 red for me.
Front row dispute, but there's the Ranford Shield. Second defence, of course. Only another 59 to go to break the record if they're successful today, Brendan.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not looking that too far ahead, to be fair, but this is one area of the game, Tom, I think that's crucial. This scrum area that we know that North Harbour have come here to do. Oh, there we go.
Early white.
Just slightly early.
Yes. Just, referee took charge.
I know that Harbour have come to put a bit of pressure on in that area, Tom.
Oh, well, they're raiding their scrum, Southland.
Just when the draw came out this year, Brendan, for the Shield defences, because Southland were low ranked, and you know, the 7th team ranked last year, the likes of Bay of Plenty and Taranaki, and there was general celebration around town. Now we've seen a play, we're not quite so keen.
And unfortunately they're up the top, that's exactly right. So look, and once again they'll be looking at this game. They've got, they've got a big lead at the moment, Harbour, and we're hoping to just solidify a wee bit here and get some go forward.
And certainly these players won't be phased. They took on all comers last year and very successful. Cornforth, can he make it a double the pass? Oh, it looked slightly forward. It was certainly knocked on, but oh so promising.
Hey.
Oh, they threw some numbers around that sort of first 5 channel, didn't they? Tried a bit of pressure on off the scrum here. Chamberlain off the back. We saw 12 come short. Put a bit of pressure on Boddicker, and he did well to get back, but it was knocked back, and I think it was probably forced before the Southland hand.
Yeah, Brendan Watt came outside in. He tried to do a big shoulder charge there, and he was out of the line. That's how that hole in North Harbour's backline happened.
Yeah, and you really can't afford to do that, Mel, can you? You've got to stick in your system and back the guys around you.
Pause.
Another tick in the box of Boddicker, who went across and made a tackle. Probably wasn't his. Luamano. He says, get out of my way, and Boys does for a moment, and Hardy and Boys combination bring him to the deck. It was, or often takes 2, but certainly more room for whoever's nominated to kick it clear, if indeed that's the tactic. And Woody Walker says, yep, it's my job, and obliges.
Yeah, well, Luamano, when he comes off the back of the scrum now, he's just so strong. He's such a big guy to pull down, and it's just so valuable for a team like Harbour. If they've got a scrum 5 out, they have a guy like like him coming off the back and just getting easy meters.
Yeah, it was a messy scrum. He could have actually gone up the blind side because that's the side it promoted, but to get that far over the advantage line is impressive.
Beckwith this time with competition, but he wins it. Wilson. Little no-look pass to Cowan, and Lynn can't hold on. Well, it looked very impressive to start with, but came awry.
Oh, he's saying there that Saunders may have taken a player out.
Just a bit too clever, Brendan?
Yeah, he just said that he's a bit of obstruction and he's taken a player out. Really, if he does run that line, he's not allowed to affect the defence. And what I mean by that is you can see there as he's taken out and copped a punch in the head for it as well.
Yeah. Referee must have missed that.
Well, the throw from Parsons. Rather languid attention to the line-out for the North Harbour forwards. They got there eventually.
Simple.
Very simple and very effective. And Finau grabbed 5 metres when it was on offer. Wilson held up. Nelly with the tackle. Inside pass. And Harbour setting themselves up midfield. Raikkonen everywhere. Smiley. He's been quite quiet. No probing runs from him yet. But they're always a threat. Bodicke has plenty of choices, and Raikkonen in a two-man tackle. Hall and Pokey, mainly Hall. Good progress here from Harbour, slowly but surely, in what is more difficult handling conditions than prior. Showing good patience. So often a virtue. Wolf. And still mistake-free in the red zone. Barrett makes the tackle. Ball still sitting on Harbour side. Parsons. Smiley. Bodicke with a longer pass this time, and wasn't cleanly taken by Watt. Eventually had to go to deck, but Bodicke on hand to help out. Looking for some help. Didn't get any initially. Raikkonen. Oh, he's half through. But Hardy round the lower portions, pulled him down. Now you can see the try line ahead. So could Smiley, and he dropped the ball and is annoyed for himself.
Love that goose step from Raikkonen. Something you would have loved to have been able to do, Brendan.
Yeah, I tended to do it on one spot, Mel.
Did you not see the Legends game last week? I think it was a goose step. There's a goose involved there somewhere.
Well, there definitely was, mate, yeah. Oh, look, and hard luck here by Smiley, though. Look, if you had a look at the table and where North Harbour's sitting, you certainly wouldn't expect them to be playing like this. They're spreading the ball. They're getting really good numbers at the breakdown, which has given them fast ball, which is exactly what they're trying to achieve. And they're really making the Southland defence work hard from side to side. And I think their balance has just been outstanding, Mel.
It has, but then you watch that sequence, I don't know, was it 8 or 9 phases? And if you look at the defence, they're totally spread out. So someone has to make the call quickly to go to a pick and go and just get that defence back in. But they are playing very well.
Just
and
trying
I'm really
to get that balance,
with,
isn't it?
Yeah, really impressed with Ben Afiaki at the scrum time as well.
Speaking of Ben, that's Ben Nelly. His dad, Vin, was prominent player in the late 60s. I think he played 6 games, I'm reliably told, for Southland. A very hardy and gritty loose forward. And career shortened by a back injury, I'm assured. Good rugby racing and beer man. I'm not sure about the beer, but I think it's pretty right. And his older brother, Brendan, was a very good player, club player. Unfortunate not to have played for Southland. Another good loose forward. He's in charge of the fire service in Otago, so a very successful family.
Well, he's played well too in his games as he has come on. Remember the Shield match up in Christchurch when they lifted it. Came on, took a kick off, 2 hands, and turned it straight onto attack for Southland. So yeah, he's done really well in that Southland jersey.
Pause. Engage. Keep it on.
Well, there'll be a proud family watching him today, no matter the result. So far, not quite going the way Stags had planned.
I think James R4 was a little bit lucky not to be pulled on an early hit then.
Stay straight.
Great view of the front rows there.
Crouch.
Attractive bunch.
Size of plenty too.
Touch.
You can tell them that later, Brendan.
That's why I'm way up here, Tom.
This looks a fairly even battle to me. Chamberlain this time with the pass to Saunders. And will seldom wrestle it free from panel. Just the kick from Wilson, takes his time over it to get a little bit of distance and gets more than that, and they're out of trouble.
Well, that's a pretty good effort from where they were, Southland. And we talked earlier, guys, about Matt Saunders. He really is their go-to guy. He's their linchpin in their back line. He does the simple things really well, and once again, get the ball up. There's not very often he turns the ball over, Tom.
Yep, and he's solid on defence too, just makes those critical tackles. Nothing flashy, but secure. Luamanu comes away with the ball. High risk stuff in the weather, but successful. And this time Smiley does have a dart, but it's cut short. The handling of Harbour has been very impressive. Afiaki to the ground. Smiley, the dispatch to Finau, is enjoying his Saturday afternoon fare. This is Parsons. Smiley. Oh, that's an aggressive tackle. Chance of a turnover? No way. Smiley directing his troops. He wants a couple of big guys. Up step Luamanu and Afiaki. Oh, half break, but not quite. Smiley to Boddicker this time, and immediately the backs' ears prick up. They hear the call. They don't see the ball enough, though, and this time, no question, Afiaki coming around offside.
Oh, well done, Southland. Great defence. Once again, we've seen this Harbour side trying to stretch them out. And really, Southland just haven't had the ball, Tom, have they? Just haven't had the ball to really do anything with. They'll be looking here to get a decent line out and try and set their game up.
I think the North Harbour forwards were pretty tired after those one-off runners they were doing, and the only forward over there at that breakdown was actually the number 3, Ben Afiaki.
Get the other ball off, please, can we? Well.
One ball too many. Well, this time Becky was not successful. Jumper in front. Stole it. So they're starting to contest the lineouts now, Harbour, rather than just leave them unfettered. Got some big men like Poilo able to do damage. Boddicker this time, a variation, a very high kick that's going to blow down in the breeze in the contest. One, but player coming up too soon, Rudy Wolf, has cost them that territory.
What do we see them do here, Tom? Do they have a look at the posts? We know Wilson can hit them that far.
Jamie.
That's actually a common tactic from North Harbour so far this season. They put the short attacking kicks in, and they've actually retained their own kicks. I think 10% of their entire kicks they've actually done this season they've got back.
Well, looking at the way that punt went, I don't think a shot at goal was really on.
No, I think that wind must have picked up a wee bit down there, Mel, has it?
It comes and goes, it's gusty.
Yeah.
Score just before half-time is a bit of a specialty for Southland when they're defending the Shield. They need one now. Harbour under a good deal of pressure. 10 out from their line. Just not enough players through. And eventually, Stags knock it on, but it's fortuitous for Harbour.
Oh, right, Cooney, every time he's touched the ball, he's beaten a first-up player, and don't think he really needed to have to do much there. All he had to do was really set it up, get a good platform, get the ruck, hit Boddicker at 10 and get the hell out of there, because they're 17 points up. They don't have to be mucking around underneath their own posts.
What do you reckon? Is he Sidovini's cousin? Plays pretty similar.
Wow. Certainly showing us how to play some rugby today.
Space for you.
Sure, Sidovini would be glad to claim him in this form.
Touch.
Electric, the word that springs to mind in this highly charged game. Walker given the duties to clear the line, and he does that with aplomb. It's 50, 60 metres away, which is just where they want to be. And not a bad chase line, but Robinson finds another hole. Robbie Robinson, a different player going forward, but made the mistake in the tackle, and trouble plenty of Harbour are quick, and they are. The cover defence came across eventually, and that was good play by Pokey because there was danger. Harbour weren't ready to counter as they have been earlier in the game, and now they find themselves on the back foot with the Stags in possession. Saunders with a long throw. The crowd go up when Lynn touches the ball. He looked on the outside, no one there. Cornforth. Play slowed in the midfield. But still, Stags with Robinson, ever dangerous when the gap is offered. Saunders and Becky was just in the way, but not illegally so, and this is Cornforth again. He loses the ball in the tackle. What Harbour going to do? Yet again, they've got numbers to counter-attack with, and Walker throwing up a little variation with the kick in behind. Wilson must surely take the safety option, and does so. Harbour won't be upset over the final result if I line it in their favour.
I'll tell you what, those Harbour forwards are looking absolutely stuffed. They've got their hands on their hips, but as we see the break from Robbie Robinson, he's got beautiful footwork. I mean, he had support there from so many of the Stags. It's just a shame that the ball got hit out in that tackle.
It's just that little bit of polish in the tackle. He often makes breaks and then loses control, but so menacing when he's at full flight. Watt places it. Time is ticking by nicely as far as Harbour's concerned, close to halfway, and their lead solid. Boddicker with the shovel on to Paulo. He's only ever going to go to the deck, second one or two defenders. Little feint there by Walker, but there's not a lot of organisation there. The duck callers in full song. And Smiley. Cowan mistake-free when it comes to tackling. Walker's come up from fullback, seeing that the halfback's tied up. The tap is taken, but Boddicker surely a chance from here.
Well, Ben Boddicker's got this ball in his hands, Tom. I'm sure he'd be trying to have a crack and get another 3 points just before half-time, but that looks like Ben Nelly down there, does it?
Yep.
Not looking too good. We might just see what happened here. Smiley just having a wee dab down the blind. As we can see here, Southland did well. John Hardy, David Hall driving over the ball, but unfortunately from the side, causing the penalty.
Boddicker's getting ready to take the shot, even with Nelly prone. He looks out for the count, and speaking of counts, Mel, another boxing match coming up later tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Tua versus Barrett. It's the rematch after David Tua went down to him last time. If you want to book the fight now to avoid the rush at the end, you can do it with your remote or the 0800 number, which is 759 758, or sky.co.nz/arena. So get to it.
Who you got, Mel?
Oh, Tua all the way.
Well done.
And like all good boxers, Ben Nelly's got up from this. Nothing for the Southern man to recover from.
Well, Boddicker's probably on the right side of the field for this. Left foot. The wind tends to blow to this left-hand corner on the terrace side, so nothing distance-wise shouldn't be a problem.
50+ metres. The crowd baying for blood. The kick is magical. Ben Boddicker, the star.
Beautiful kick. He just kept his head down through the ball. We watched him before warming up, and he was hitting the ball so sweet. But he just seems to have come out here and he's put the ball right on the dot.
There's a terrific display in such a cauldron. Hanging off Kylo, allowing that towering lock to get more ground than he should have. Another score here for Harbour before the break will be telling. And the tackle is missed, and Wolf has given Raikkonen a chance. Players falling all over the place, but a desperate tackle from John Hardy may have saved it for them. Where would they be without the number 6? This time, Luamanu, well, Scott Cowan's trying to take him on. He's twice his size. How critical will this moment be in the context of this match? The Stags' defence sorely tested. Harbour so close through Smiley. It's all over once the next stoppage occurs. The Stags will hope that it could be a counter-attack, because the pass was dropped by Watt, and perhaps a chance, a faint chance to Cornwall to set something up here. Raikkonen, well, you won't beat him for pace, and if he's got his wherewithal, he'll know to kick it out. He does exactly that. Makes the half safe for Harbour. 27 at the break. Pulsating action end to end.
Oh, what a great first half of rugby we've had here, guys. What a Shield challenge. Fantastic end-to-end stuff.
Have they got enough in the tank, Brendan, do you think?
Well, look, they've done all the right things in this first 40 time, and I see no reason why they can't.
Well, stay with us. If the second half is anything like as good as the first, you're in for a fun. 20-7 at the break at Rugby Park Stadium. And there'll be a question, Brendan Laney, whether North Harbour can keep this up.
Well, they've thrown everything and the kitchen sink at Southland, and it's taken a lot out of this big forward pack. Mel said earlier in the game that some of these boys are starting to walk around, but look, 10 minutes is a long time to have a wee bit of a recovery for these fit fellas, and I'm sure they'll be pretty keen to hang on to it.
Mel, give us some female intuition about how you think this may play out.
Well, I think that the difference between the two teams in the first half was the X factor, of course, with Raikkonen and the support play, the offloads, and of course the line-outs. North Harbour have done exceptionally well there. Some good variations on their own ball and attack the oppositions. Wilson
kicks deep for the opening of the second half. And Tuatavaki hoping Harbour can start as positively this time round. Bodika keen that the ball retained in hand, and remember they're playing into the breeze this time out. Bodika, when there's trouble, doesn't mind taking it up, sucking in a couple of forwards, going to deck, and that's sensible play by the robust number 10. The kick is charged. How often has that happened this season? Could be the break the Stags were looking for, and it could be carried back. It is.
Well, once again we've seen North Harbour not that keen to keep running the ball out from their own line, and as we can see here, that's meat and drink for a guy like Cowan, who we've seen charge down a ball before and score a try. So interesting start.
I think actually it must have come off a North Harbour hand before it went back over the line, so the first infringement is the scrum 6 metres out, so a little bit of relief.
Tom, you were right before, by the way. It was a passing shower. No rain at the moment.
It's great publicity. What about the breeze?
No, that's still there. It's definitely gusty, definitely going to have an effect in Southland's favour.
Won't affect this guy. He runs underneath it and through it. Luamanu. Good progress. And the backs still with fire on their heels. There's Wolf this time to the deck. Pass not the best. It's hard work for Watt to make anything of that at all, not his fault. And this is just what the Stags wanted in a attacking scrum early.
Yeah, they really do have to get some points on the board early in the second half just to get back in this game. And unfortunately, not the greatest pass. Brendan Watt will be disappointed with that. But here's a chance for Southland to get a good solid start and get back on top.
I haven't mentioned the good crowd that's turned up today. Probably, my guess, looking at the terraces and the stand, maybe 8,000. They are loving this Ramfleet Shield era, albeit in its early stages. There's Cowan and Robinson. There's a lot of talk between 15 and 10 in the changing room about what might transpire. And this time Pokey hasn't had much to do so far. Definitely a line breaker. Saunders knew the pass was not sensible. Took the better option of going to deck and had plenty of beef behind him. Now the Stags are on the charge, and here they come, close. Chamberlain with Barrett. No way Harbour going to get it off him from there. Cowan favouring distribution this time round. There's no big guys. They'll use Lynn. Lynn could slip the pass. He could go there himself. Oh, painfully short. No trouble for Cowan. Comes up with a try. The Stags are back.
Well, like we said, Tom, they really need to get back in this game, and they've done exactly that. This is one part of the game that I've been doing for many years, is when they get close to this line, they certainly take their time. And here it shows here, Kenny Lynn, very, very close himself. They get good numbers. Cornforth does a great job. Cowan in there, nice and close. And over he goes in the corner. Very well done. Kenny Lynn just about there. And then goes Scotty Cowan, who loves this part of the paddock, doesn't he, Tom?
And notice, Mel, that Jamie McIntosh calling the troops straight back to halfway for a conference.
Yep, that's definitely what he needs to do, keep talking to them, because they lost their way a little bit with their game plan in the first half.
Well, Bodica, we saw, slide a couple from out here, so Wilson would have seen the shape it needs to be. Didn't quite emulate it this time round, so the gap's still 8. Harbour have a little bit of breathing space, but it's contracted. Stirring on the terraces. You can see out of numbers in the Southland regalia.
Well, they're a hardy bunch, aren't they, Tom? They love it. Fantastic effort, guys.
The boys called for it and took it. Took Wilson at the same time, but safe in the hands of Cowan, and then James Wilson. This kick will be contestable for Robinson, but just Walker got the better of him on the fend. In fact, he beat 2 players, including Hardy. That is a hard thing to do. Wilson couldn't make the tackle either, so Walker 4 notches on the belt in terms of defenders beaten. They haven't lost their spirit, Harbour, even though they conceded the try. Remember, they conceded the first try in the first half. It didn't put them off then. Chamberlain with the tidy up. Ball back in Southland's favour. The kick over the top from Cowan. The defensive line well back, and Bodica goes wide. Some suggestion of a forward pass, but no one in a position to check it out. Raikuna. And the tackle of David Hall. The steal from Hardy. Copybook. Cowan. Oh, a bit of a mix-up with Wilson. Ball on the deck, lost forward. Poirot. Those mistakes still coming from Southland. Harbour, can they capitalise as they did in the first 40? I think stolen on the ground again. Great breakdown for Southland. The kick will go a mile downtown, not too far, the Stags will be hoping. It looks safe for them. It'll be a restart 22. Raikuna will make it safe.
Well, there's players